all is well because the resurgence timer is still on and Ahsoka is alive.
Yeah, and taking a quick look here at the rest of the map that has a couple of players.
Goal just died, all good. Teammates are back alive.
It's tough if you're Biffle because obviously you're by yourself.
Destroy them are farming Eddie. Gotten like 6 kills on them.
In particular, you're seeing AG Global right up close to them as well as Twisted Minds.
Yeah, Aiden in trouble, eliminated. The team backing off. You can see Team 3 in the minimap backing off away from this AG Global squad. That's Twisted Minds, top of solos, looking to find some success today after a small break. They're back on the map, ready to fry. 1 player down, that timer ticking. There are so many ways.
I think he went exactly where I wanted him to go. I think he went Kim.
Can reduce it. Opening chests can reduce it. Getting eliminations
Ben just died. They're in a blender right now.
Back on the map quickly is a huge boon.
Yes, indeed. By the way, we've got more competition coming in. The Falcons trio are deciding to push up on this, so we're going to have the Falcons, Twisted Minds, and AG Global all fighting over Factory.
Dongi's team, a team to watch
Eddie's
out
last
for.
up.
The Singapore squad, this is a really strong team. The big question in our minds is, could they put it all together with this X factor that is Dongi? Believe.
Oh, Eddie's gonna die here. He's in a
long
2v1.
time adding Dongi into the mix. It looks like they're using him as the Slayer. 5 kills already as the Resurgence timer is still active, ready to go for a good circle or so.
Just lying in wait and find both players springing up above him. Does manage to get a crack, but it's not going to be enough. Dongi pushes himself to 6. I mentioned it a moment ago. He was the player that comes in.
People are splitting 2-1.
He's already delivering.
Everybody has a duo and then a solo that's like anchoring for them.
Look how far away Intex is. All the way across on the other side of the map. They're completely split from west to east on Rebirth Island, and Dongi is cleaning house.
Nice. Dongi's cooking.
In the interview with Chris Puckett at his monitor, hardly looking away, wanting to play, but a great personality and the slaying power equals his personality as he finds his 9th in the first map of group stages. I don't think Dongi can be iced, even if we tried.
And then the thing is as well, 9 with 34 still remaining is absolutely outrageous.
Oh, he's actually going crazy.
Elsewhere. This is another player that's a potential X factor when it comes to these squads, right? How is Knight going to perform? We're expecting them to largely try and help this side understand Resurgence better, not necessarily slay out the same way
it sucks that they play such little maps. Like, they only play like 2 maps per group. Yeah, Eddie and them are just in a blender.
Their team as the 3 different iterations, almost an acronym that they've put together for their team squad.
Yeah, this is just Resurgence.
Still have a lot to prove here on main stage. We talked about Ultimate High Ground. This is super important, especially as the Resurgence timer begins to tick down. We've got Raul, we've got Nate Dogg, Destroy.
Oh, it's cool that they show all 3 POVs.
He's the anchor as Destroy and Raul are pushing up on what looks like that Wars team. That's the guild squad we've got all of our eyes on. Waiting, watching below.
I'm pretty sure it's 2 maps per group today. Again, Nelly.
Decides to push here. Will find Believe. Will get the down. Oh, misses the shot actually. Does not want to make a mess of that. Will eventually clean it up. But the thing is that extra time that's spent means that his opposing teammate can push on up. Intex and Believe just above him here. Lucanar's going to have to be very careful. Is onto 4 kills, but doesn't necessarily have the.
He's landing it on the load. He's going to die to Intex.
Towards the center of the map. Mortar comes on down. Dongi up above, and this is the man who's slaying thus far.
We saw the Gladiators around the corner as well. You can see that Team 4. That's going to be your
Come on, Eddie. Good
squad.
stuff. Good stuff, Eddie.
Tower. You can see Noobs actually taking out Brolic in the kill feed, so that Husker squad relying on Huskers to stay alive as Jackal answers back and takes down Noobs off screen. You can see how split that Team 4 is in that X-ray cam looking through our buildings. Huskers way up in the water tower. Very similar strat to that Destroy team, by the way, as we see the zone tick closer and closer to the center of the map. Now, quick look here. We're in Circle 3. A minute 8 remaining as when it begins to close. Once that circle fully closes, Enigma, we know what happens. This entire map goes silent for a moment.
This is the problem, right? They lost their initial fight, so now they're just constantly stuck landing separately for the Resurgence timer of the other. So then they'll never be together, and that's exactly what's happening. So they're getting 2v1 in every gunfight because they're not together ever.
We were wondering how he would perform after missing yesterday. He's not having any problems, Coach.
This is what we're talking about. Ultimate High Ground, not necessarily for kills, but information gathering. gathering. Let your Slayers out on a long leash. Let them go rain in as many kills as they can get until this timer is done, and you are the information man. You are the one feeding your team all the resources they need to find success. We talked about this during solos, even more important during the group stages. Watch that bottom right-hand corner of your screen when we're in player POVs, because you will see whether or not these players have loadout. That will dictate how aggressive they're playing. You need loadout weapons. Look at this, Destroy. Bottom right corner, you see all those attachments. He's got loadout. He's got his resources. He's ready to rock and roll. He's got the meta, and that Superi seemingly in everyone's hands. Yeah, and we talk as well about meta, Superi, sure, but that SVA on tap, Fire, it's been putting in work throughout this year. We're going to move on over to Castillo, has absolutely nothing. Can AG Global step up from the performances of yesterday? Well, so far, Castillo has not had much.
Oh, Jackal and them about to be wiped.
Shifty and Knight start to pick up kills in the feed, and that's all going to be Gladiators struggling in those ones. Yeah, Shifty and Knight finding some success, but unfortunately getting third party. This is what happens. Again, signal flares in the skies every time you
They should be putting that thermal on 100%. Wow, King AG and Wars and them got wiped.
Predicted on one, as we see a couple more teams falling in the kill feed. Actually, our second.
Knight wiped.
Aiden C-Smith off screen, fully eliminated. Twisted Minds, top of the leaderboard. Out
oh my god, it's
See
actually mental right now.
Shortly. How many kills did they get? Only
Castillo and them wiped.
Castillo out of here, Dark out of here. All of a sudden, times are changing. Resurgence timer not even
50 down
yet. Just right around the corner from that Enigma. This is chaos as the teams continue to converge on each other. And now our
Shifty's full dead.
Just getting a quick look here over some of the figures that we've got going on. The Singapore Syndicate leading.
Shogun and them have to.
Kills. That's obviously all the work that's going on by Dongi. 14
Let's
kills
go,
for
Eddie.
Team
Good stuff
Destroy.
staying alive.
And
Okay, they have all of bottom prison to themselves. This is good. This is good.
At Team 7, team of the yellow 7. That's Eisen's team in a really good position on the thin side of prison. They're holding down this
And Ben got the resurgence timer, so he's back now. They just need to all stick together at this point.
You can buy your teammates back, but if you fall, you get eliminated. You're not coming back. As all of a sudden, Lucanus' squad on the run.
Right now, they're just getting picked apart individually because of that loss of the first fight.
Whether or not you have the advantage of playing for position, whether or not you have to continue.
You're gonna be fighting this this Team 9 here that's rowing in. Oh. Duo just got gunned.
Little snap, but Patsuk will actually trade it out by picking up Trevs. Lucanas trying to escape and being hunted by the Australians.
Oh, he's dead.
Here comes Navi.
He's very dead. GG's, Lucanas, you're out.
On 7, putting in work for this squad. Now on the run and being hunted like a wounded animal. See you later, Lucanas. Out of here, top 10. Now multipliers starting to come into play, folks. Multipliers are different this time around. You're looking top 5 is 1.4. Fourth, 1.4. Third, 1.4. It is second that is the 1.7.
Shifty and them have a hard row here.
Crucial numbers to remember, a little bit different than yesterday.
Huskers and them are going to have to win their gunfight. They have a team on their right and they have a team on their left.
The crowd excited about this one. Falcons, they are still flying and they fly together now that the resurgence timer has officially closed. Hunting edge of map, working towards prison. Yeah, currently holding 10 kills between them, and they're pushing up on the Gladiators, but Brolic spots them. Jackal gets over aggressive, and Shifty will find him. Takes a lot of damage, has to back on off, but does
yeah,
have
they're
coverage.
gonna lose this team fight. Jackal and them.
You just want to play around the edge of it, but Destroy has picked up Shifty from the window, and all of a sudden splits this trio apart. Quick buyback. That is something the Falcons are known for. They always play around buy stations. They always rotate for the buys. They know there's a buy there on the outside of prison. They get the buyback immediately. Shifty's able to get.
Yeah, these two teams are gonna fight.
Sniped out of the air. That Falcons team's still gonna be feeling good, but it's still.
Levi has to be careful because if anybody's top prison, he's dead.
Inside the top 10 still, but we're looking for top 8 to just give you any multiplier. 8th place gives you that 1.2x, all right? So a lot of multipliers still to be played
Huskers is staying alive for his team here. Oh, he just died.
Rebirth Island still to be seen.
Let's put a curse on him.
Navi just going to push up, try and play this under passage, potentially find themselves a safer route around the back of prison. The thing is,
they haven't showed any of them since the start of this EWC. They haven't showed any of them.
Levi here looking to wrap this, but the gas is going to
all right, they got a multi. Let's see if they can get. I think top 5 is a different multi. Doka, Biffle down.
And here come the boys. And oh my, Levi loses that fight.
No.
Oh my goodness, there are fights
Oh, good
happening
stuff.
everywhere. One team holding
Shifty
zone,
and them
one
wiped.
team predicted it would go prison and were wrong and were punished for it. Out of here. 5 teams left. You see a full Fnatic squad alive and on the run on edge of
Let's go,
zone.
boys.
Will they be held by Raul, Destroy, Liam, Bagel, all fighting for position? Navi's out of here.
There's
They're
only
gone.
one trio
While that
other than
fight,
them.
Destroy
It's
does
these
take them
guys.
out, and that is
There's
a
only one
squad
trio.
wipe.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Well, Skullface is tucked into very
They should be able to kill Madi and
small,
them.
confined space here
Come
with
on, come
Noobs
on, come on,
and
come on, come on,
Storm
come on.
comes in there,
Guys,
you're in
this is a
trouble.
2v3. This is a
Gunfire
2v3.
going out the other way, those beneficials. Noobs finds Marty.
There we go.
Skullface
Good
brings up
stuff.
Rodrigo. They are completely out
Well
of here.
done.
Skullface just looking to assess the situation. You're up
Oh,
against
they
two
got
other players,
flanked.
but that's actually
Wow.
going to be Skullface, Ormond and Noobs out of here as we're down to our final 2.
It's okay.
BSL. Everyone.
Duo shot them from the other side, and this team flanked around them. So they got ISO'd by the solo and the trio.
We need to see them perform, and Stuo doesn't
There's
even
no
fight at the
way.
end, gives away his life, not wanting to give away free points. That is a BSL
Oh, good.
victory
They
for
got
the
top
very
3.
first
This is
map
good.
of group stages. In the Esports World Cup Enigma, nothing is given, everything is earned, and BSL certainly earned a ton of points. in the
They
first
couldn't
half.
do anything about that. That was like super unlucky. Like they couldn't avoid that at all.
Should be putting a little bit more respect on this BSL side.
The other
They
team
made
played
the
that
World
really, really
Series
good.
last year with Benzi. No one even expected them to qualify, let alone be Europe's
That was
second
really
best
nerve-wracking with the
team
start.
on the day.
That was really nerve-wracking because
World Cup. I think
they were in a blender. So that multiplier should help them. Again, now they're all working for a spot in the final. So we want them to maintain like a top 14 placement because top 14 makes it to the finals. We're rooting for Fnatic.
Because of the trust they have. They make fun of each other. They have a good time doing it. Every conversation we've had with them was this. We asked them their drop spots. We asked them their strats, and they said, we just listen to whatever Bagel tells us to do. What's our favorite drop spot? Where Bagel says so to go. I mean,
No, we don't talk trash about the Falcons. But we are rooting for Fnatic.
Got a lot of question marks around scores, though. Reminder, multipliers are crazy top-heavy in this competition. 2x multiplier, of course, going to BSL. Where did Na'Vi end up falling?
This is first map, so
Destroy. They had knocked Destroy and nobody could res him. So there was a moment there I thought Na'Vi was still alive when they got the zone pull.
I don't think they got a lot of kills though, but I hope that the multi like pushes them
and they just got swarmed
like into that.
Zone pull comes their way. I'm with you. I think, okay, this is Na'Vi's to lose. You potentially have the company of Vitality off towards that northern side, but I thought that they were in the prime spot for sure. But
So ideally, you want these guys to be in the top 5. Like you like in this group right now, you want them to be in the top 5. Because if they're in the top 5 of this group, they have a good chance to making it to finals.
Just can't really contest it if you are Na'Vi. But I'm with you on
Husk and them did pretty good.
Boogs, Liam and StuKex and how they end up winning that and getting that 2x multiplier. But some of these squads were picking up serious kills out there on the map. So just
Oh, really? Oh, so you got some personal beef with Shifty, huh?
So fun about this multiplier. Usually reward kind of that top 5, right? If you get to top 5, you're gonna get that 1.7x. In this
No, so like years ago, I tried League of Legends, and I literally played it once, maybe twice, and I had no idea what was happening. Like, I literally no clue what was going on. Didn't even know who I was on the map. So then I never played it again.
Yesterday and nearly dropped double digits in the very first map by himself. So if that team had any sort of spread,
I remember I played it while I was at my college, like on my MacBook.
we were saying it, weren't we? You know, his brother comes in yesterday to cover, picks up the map win. It's a great story. We're all very happy for him. But what will that do to Destroy? First of all, does he have, how does he feel about coming back into things? You've got to walk into that big stage where everyone else has had time to set themselves up and get a feel for the game. And also, how do you feel about playing a bit of resurgence here in this level of competition? But it turns out he does not mind it at all. We tuned into him a couple of times throughout that. But I thought the setup that they had was gorgeous.
Yeah.
You had Destroy sats on top of that prison.
Yeah, I did.
Trying
My
to
levy.
run over for some rooftops, and then just essentially a third just roaming around the map, giving themselves. I mean, it's Raul, so of course he's not gonna get off on that leash. But as a 3, looked very well together, and that's impressive considering that is your very first map together in this competition.
Yeah, what did he call him? Destroy called him his little Goonies, I think, or something like that. They are very, very strong, and Raul Destroy flying around the map. And you're right, it was Nate Dogg way up on high, taking ultimate high,
The dog's been doing good.
Is everything. If we tune into their stream at any time, in any stage of any competition, the comms are
Stuo and them won the first game. Breadman and Huskers are the two mouse and key players in this.
Top, BSL, Boogs, Liam, Stukex, two guys from Bradford and a guy from Germany on top of the very first map. We'll see if they're on top in our score tallies at the end of it, but regardless, they're likely going to be top 5. I am so excited to hear what our desk has to say about our very first map in group stages.
Wow, what a great game, number 1, and a disappointing one for some, but for others, just an
let's
incredible
see.
showcase of the true
Oh, is this the
potential
leaderboard?
trios can bring. There was nonstop action and a lot of
Dang!
incredible things that, actually were very
W
surprising
comms
to
out of
different
you.
playing styles that we're going to break down. But first, let's talk about our winners, BSL. An incredible performance from them. We go to you, Infinity. They did a lot right.
Yeah, they absolutely did. You know what's funny is, again, we were having a conversation about BSL, and I think a lot of people are underestimating them. Despite having one of the easier groups of the 3 per se, BSL have always been one of those teams, though, that can clutch up when need be. And that's exactly what they did. They really started to threaten a number of teams. I think one of the biggest moments in that game for BSL, even before their incredible end of the game, was actually one, I think, towards Chemical's side, right, where they were kind of forcing Falcons out of position. They were chasing them down. That was just before Hisoka made that big play of bringing the teammate back in. The fact that BSL were being as aggressive as they were sending a lot of teams running away.
A lot of teams running away. Well, I think they started respecting the firepower, right? So it's not easy in Resurgence when you're getting into a fight, you lose one.
Resurgence is all about that initial gunfight. If you don't win that initial gunfight, you're screwed.
But you know, to talk about Fnatic, though, Fnatic, another great team who didn't do the best, per se, when it came down to solos yesterday, but...
First time seeing what Jackal looks like? Oh, really?
Oh, yeah,
Jackal is very tall. Very tall.
They've always been that collective duo.
Yeah, so these points from today, tomorrow...
My favorite players, really surprised about yesterday, but going into today to see all 3 of them alive in the final zone, you know, take a look at their eliminations, because even though some of these teams are in that final zone, you have to think about the eliminations that they do have, right?
Sure.
I'm thinking of Alula. It was talked about at the top of show. They had 2 wins yesterday, win that solo seeding, but only the 7th seed. So
That was Eddie. That was Eddie. This is Benjamin.
He was popping
This is
off
Skullface.
eliminations. Even new icons surprising us, right? In Group B, as we said, hey, maybe they might get, you know, dumpstered on. But hey, the team that surprised us, who did get dumpstered on in the beginning, was in fact Alula. So yeah, this is just unpredictable. In terms of Resurgence, it is chaotic. But to see Fnatic in the final zone like that, that is what we expect to see from those guys as a trio. We know they can play and survive and you know, shoot their gun. Everyone's a shooter in this lobby, but for yesterday's performance, I think they're coming into today. They definitely got some fire on their belt.
But back on Alula, a team that we highlighted so much throughout our fill time, and even at the start of show, right?
I know. I was telling Eddie, I texted him and I was like, you look like you had no clue where to look. And he was like, they confused me before I walked out.
And it comes down to the question of different play styles, right? Obviously, all 3 of them sticking together, but that also runs the risk of you getting eliminated very quickly. First team I bring up personally about who's playing in Anchor is Hisoka over on Charlotte.
No, this was yesterday. Yesterday when he did like his little like march.
On top of the tower, relatively
he was like looking around like he wasn't. It's like,
going out in their slaying.
it's like I was confused.
Of game number 1 over on green, just outside of tents. But Dongi, though, a player that didn't need an anchor per se, he was going out and slaying out.
Yeah, and I mean, Brody, we kind of were talking about this. We all were talking about this, you know, when we were sitting on the side. So many eliminations, but Dongi, how aggressive he was playing.
Hello, I'm Star.
Wiping out everybody while his teammates essentially, he did have, I believe, it was either Intex or at least somebody there with him to support him.
Yeah, a lot of teams are using like the 2-1 strategy where they send out a duo and then there'll be a solo that will anchor, like what Soka was doing on the tower. And then
extremely
Intex
high
was doing it for
Yeah, and
Doggy's
there's just a
team.
really smart play there towards the end. You just see it like very briefly in the clips, right?
Because then you just try to ISO all the solos that are landing back
near
in.
the dock side, he recognizes, hey, I've got a player isolated. I'm going to go for this kill to try and get some map control. It is those kind of plays that I
Let's
think
send him a
separates out
text just in
Doggy
case he
as
gets
one
it.
of the better players we have here. I mean, he's so fun to watch.
He's great. He's incredible. And yesterday he was also good too. I mean, come on, Z-Doggy is doing it all. The Dongwick himself, as Seymour coined him yesterday. But again, going back to the Falcons with Hisoka being that anchor and stronghold, his teammates going out and slaying out, they eventually go over towards Factory.
Yep.
Things are looking pretty good at that point in time, but then we start losing some players, and Twisted Minds was one of them, and then shortly after, I believe Team Guild was also eliminated.
Yeah, absolutely they were. I mean, that final circle was absolutely insane. You know, Guild just not able to get it done towards the end. I mean, that was just honestly an insane fight. I think Fnatic were in there in the end
it was
as well.
Navi, right? Navi we were watching for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
But then the zone pulled their way, which obviously, I mean, I think it was Fnatic, right? They were in that shack right there.
No, he doesn't. He comes and visits a lot.
To rotate outside of prison, it's like, okay, how do we cross this? You have to have smokes.
Well, you know what's funny? You mentioned Navi as the team that was kind of, they had the zone to their name. We were, you know, Enigma mentioned it in the moment, right? I mean, the zone is pulling a Navi. Surely they'll be able to pull this off. And then all of a sudden,
do all the teams make it to tomorrow? I believe so.
I mean, yeah, Raul, right? You love Raul. I mean, like, it's just such a funny route you see them taking. You talk about anchoring as one of those key positions. Nate Dogg in that game, he was doing that early on. He was sat up at Watchtower for a very long time, while the rest of his team was sat over.
Yeah, right, Pink.
Those guys convalesced towards the prison, towards the top of prison. They were actually sharing that, I believe, with new icons for a really long time, which was kind of funny. I think it was Rodrigo, actually. But regardless, you know, the fact that they were able to get there, and then they fly down to the final zone to kind of surprise Navi. Not really a nice surprise. We'll call it a shock.
Malavi is not wrong on that one.
Shout out to Bagel from BSL. The reason why they took game number 1 is because
nice. Okay, they're 8th. They're 8th. This isn't horrible.
Leads the way at 28. We talk about Team Destroy yesterday. Destroy not playing with the roster. Jay, his brother, takes over.
This isn't horrible.
Destroy is back, and now they're on top.
Listen, I'm telling you, if this, you guys,
Destroy's team is first.
Some type of like miracle worker, because that's insane. We called this out. Destroy coming back and slaying out for his squad. And did you guys see how many eliminations he was picking up? Top prison, I mean, left and right. Like said, catching people off guard. But the heat that came into today, he had said it. My brother, you know, he got that win yesterday. Coming into today, I'm back.
Thank you so much for the 14 months. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And to be able to just come out on top now after map 1, not taking a win.
Let's
but,
go.
like you said, guys,
Let's go, Fnatic. Let's
Well,
go.
the thing about Destroy, and he's always been known for this, is he's high octane, loves to get in your face. Now, does he fizzle out sometimes a little bit early on? Yes, because he's not necessarily playing for placements. That's kind of a secondary thought, at least when I think of Destroy and his play style. But he's intense when it comes to the initial drops. He's intense when it comes to mid-game.
These guys... Wait, what? These guys don't look anything like the Jonas Brothers.
Take over first. Not necessarily they're placing, so good on them.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say as well, to be fair, you know, going back to that point about anchoring again, it is worth saying there is an
I
element
agree.
of map
I agree,
positioning.
Pink.
Think it's a reason why
However,
they're so
I know a
great.
lot of people
Again,
going
the
to
fact
World
that
Series of
they're able to
Warzone
take that route from-
that have
I
like
wanna say
qualified and
sideways,
stuff like are not
inside,
comfortable
and
with
then
putting a
kind of
face
make their
cam
way
on.
all the way through
And that
towards
gets me
prison,
really
and
worried
then
for them
force
because
that
they will
drop
have a
towards the
camera
box. I mean,
like
that is
this
such an
close to their
incredible help
face
from that
and
squad.
a
To be able to make that
cameraman
one work, I mean,
like
it is an
2 feet
absolute
away from
before
them.
they have to go as far as they do.
Yeah, and you know, Z-Smith said it best. When it comes
So
to
like
roles,
I really hope that
they
they start to get into the habit between now and World Series of Warzone to playing with a camera. Like all of these guys that are here today are pretty typical to play with a camera on, but a lot of them going to World Series like are not like streamers like that. Like they don't use face cams and stuff. So like they definitely and have like this mentality of like I play worse with a camera on. Like okay, in World Series of Warzone, you're gonna have a camera 2 inches away from your face.
That is 28 points on the after game number 1.
And then you have to take photos, and then you have to take videos, and then you have to take interviews, and then there's in between maps you're getting pulled to talk to people. Like
performing teams, at least in the early initial games up to the mid game. There was a great shout from Go. She said they like to play around buy stations, and that's important, right? And it seems like they were almost timing their rotations to kind of time with those buy stations. For example, his soak over at Stronghold, they were playing around tents on top green, eventually moving
exactly,
over towards
Malevi.
another buy station over there. You notice their rotation, right? going up towards headquarters. Another buy station there. We see a buyback.
It's uncomfortable to use the face cam at first, 100%, but then after a while, you just even forget that it's there.
But they're playing close to buy
And like knowing that you're going to World Series of Warzone, you should be wanting to increase your chances of success and not letting a thing like a camera looking at your face be the thing that hurts your chances to win.
Right? I mean, cash is kind of, it's difficult to utilize, I think, in Resurgence. It's like, do you actually want to be using your money on buys? And what else are you really going to be using it for? I mean, it's such short notice decision making.
That's right, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I was going to say really quick.
I will say that the Warzone people are significantly better with the body order than the like CDL stuff. The CDL stuff, like the open bracket stuff, holy. Holy. They leave a stench after the event is done. Warzone people, everybody smelled fine when I was there. Yeah, they're so toxic that their body
Welcome back to the caster booth here with the Esports World Cup Call of Duty Warzone. Map number 2 right around the corner, Coach Enigma. And I gotta say, can we shout out Team Destroy for being top of the leaderboard? Destroy comes in from being radically sick. I'm talking hospitalized yesterday. You all know the story. You all love the story. Jay, his brother, comes in and wins a map. Now, Team Destroy didn't win the first map, but they're on top of the leaderboard.
No, it's not, Malevi.
After the first map. So watch out for Team Destroy. He's here to slay. Other storylines, Enigma, BSL out of nowhere comes and dominates that first map.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, going back to the point of whether or not we should start to consider these boys as someone we should talk about with some respect. They come out here, pick up first. However, we speak a lot about it in the Warzone space. Placement is something, but kills being everything. They only pick up 8, so they will go 16 points and therefore be sat, I believe it's 5th on our leaderboard coming into this second map. That will feel all right now because you are in that Group A-B matchup that we know is a clash of titans, so you're going to feel pretty solid about that. But they're definitely not clear of any sort of conversation in regards to pushing away from the rest of the teams.
Here's a quick look at that leaderboard. That's what we're talking about. Team Destroy on top. Right beneath them, Syndicate out of nowhere, 24 points. Watch out for our top teams. Hey, we're hopping into map number 2. And
let's go!
Rowdy, I am so excited about this, my friend. Map
Finally get to watch.
And I gotta say, these teams came out real hot, real fast, real aggressive. We talk litmus tests, we talk heat check.
Yeah, there's a 9-hour difference between me and them. So right now it should be 8:15 p.m. I think for them.
For us to get into it.
Well, one of the questions about yesterday, wasn't it? You know, we started off pretty quickly, but it slowed down dramatically as we moved on through. Players finding themselves corners, trying to just pick up little kills here and there in solos. However, today
I know.
we started off hot in map.
But they're not playing a lot today, so.
See things slow down in map 2, and it definitely doesn't for Knight as
15 Biff will have all of Stronghold to themselves. I can't.
And, well, I gotta say, okay, quick note, Team Tommy with Al-Ula.
Wow, Lennon and them landed back again after getting wiped off the rip?
They set up a trap. Quick answer back, though, as Pazuka drops Juki's, Lennon drops Stuwo. It's a battle for Bio, and it's all hands on deck for both teams. This is where things get so dangerous.
The problem is that Juki's and Lennon are landing on the roof and they have incredibly limited resources, whereas Petsuka and them have the entire building to loot.
Squad, once they got the knock, full swung and got a full team wipe.
Indeed, and we'll come back to that later because right now, Twisted Minds up.
Oh my god, Bagel on them. Or Liam.
He takes quite a bit of damage. Gonna have to back on off, and 2 players rotate down the stairs.
Let's go. Ben and Eddie are cooking right now. Let's go. They won their initial fight. Somebody get the full on Rodrigo. Okay, good job, Eddie. Good job.
Got fully eliminated in the first like 30 seconds of this match.
Oh, they are cooking this game. Let's go. Let's go, boys.
That's how important that anchor position is. You cannot all 3 die early. That is almost only
No, none of them could stream.
This entire game. If you all
They only have one PC at their setups.
Several in the kill feed, by the way, as it looks like somebody's answered back. Intex last alive for that team, running on his merry way. Both.
My god, I hate this. Like, what is this? Like 80 or 90 FOV? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
By the way, you see the 6 and the 5 and counting as those timers slowly tick down and they slowly respawn back into the map.
Yeah, well, the one thing is with Intex there, he found himself a lovely cubby over around Ken. We move in towards Lucanas.
Let's go, Ben. Ben is cooking. Ben and Eddie are cooking.
Got this situation where Soka's playing anchor on Stronghold.
Oh.
Back in with our Al-Ula squad, who continue to fight over bioweapons. They have company, but right now with Tommy out of things, it's up to Juki.
Gosh, Ben is cooking.
The boy back in.
Yeah,
Oscar's going up in his lovely water tower.
In the World Series of Warzone Global Finals, they ended up getting 3rd in the competition, okay? So we got plenty more wars that to be played for the team near the bottom, if not at the bottom of the leaderboard. We head over to our Falcons.
It's going to be quite the fight between him and Breadman when they're in the same game.
2v whatever's in their path, because their 3rd, Hisoka, way back in Stronghold.
Yeah, Ben played really well yesterday, like really well.
With this Falcon squad, they've always got the tricks up their sleeve, and apparently Ahsoka just sitting in Stronghold is their trick because it pays off. Dark gets eliminated without even losing a single iota of health.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that's scary about this side. This entire strategy that you've got if you're Biffle and Shifty, you just start hunting things down. You feel confident to take on even 2v3 scenarios in a lobby of some of the best players in the world. Just allows Soka to play that anchor role so perfectly. And they continue.
Oh, Soka and them are pushing on up top. This is a problem though because Huskers is sniping in the water tower. Okay, Huskers is last in the water tower, boys. Be careful.
On top of Prison, it's always a battle for Prison in some form or fashion. It's just a matter of when. Right now, only several teams, a couple teams rather, floating around the edges of Prison, and that one team in the shadows. Face one hiding in the corner, breaks the camera.
Oh, he almost world starred Dusamir.
Clips of all time on the timeline. I almost just lost it.
Oh my god, he almost did it to him.
Make sure that no, Coach, don't freak out. I got it in the bag. He can't break my camera, not here on land.
Look, Skullface might well go down there, but this
dude, Ben is actually cooking.
Struggled in map 1. They might have got 3rd, but they only picked up 8 kills overall. They're already on to 10 in this one. Skullface snapping in that one shows exactly why.
Let's go, Eddie. Let's go, Ben.
It's going to be Noobs and Skullface picking up more.
Wow.
Yeah, I
pushing
can.
through Grandma's and
There you go.
looking for Smith, who's trying to escape for his life. He's got to shoot the rest of the team's in trouble, and Shifty's shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, you got to find the fish when you can get them. I mean, they're free. They're floating around out there just waiting for somebody to shoot them. Stukek's going down. It looks like his team, though, still fully alive for the most part. So going to be respawning back in and floating above his squad. Now, I got to say, that Fnatic squad is having their way with this lobby. We have got to check out that team whenever they're in their next encounter. What is going right this time around? As Biffle
It's because they won their initial fight.
This could be chaos for BSL. This could be chaos for the winner of the last map.
Oh, yeah.
Goes down.
Yeah.
In trouble. Pushes out smokes, and it's not enough. Especially with
Oh, they got their birdied.
Here comes Intex. Here comes the second place team on our leaderboard cleaning up. And
Oh my god, Biffle and them just literally...
Intex comes out on
Wait,
top.
are they
Intex
out?
pulls off a sniper
Oh, no, they're not.
point-blank
They're not.
range. That goes absolutely crazy. Dongi will be out of this, out an absolutely massive map one, but he will be brought back in. And I was about to say, the thing is with that two-player strategy that Falcons have, although it has gained them 10 kills currently, you end up in this situation
They're already
sometimes
on
where you're
10.
just running into too many bodies. Intex!
No.
Absolutely snaps onto Trev. That was gorgeous for everyone except for the lineup that he is countering, and will actually decide to play in through the water. Dongi's gonna
Oh, he
bring
just
that
world
on
starred
up,
him.
and Dongi and Intex just continuing a bit of a reign of terror here through Harbor.
You know
Wow,
what?
Intex.
People know
All
that
right.
Soka's playing the
I think
water
he's
tower.
warmed up. My goodness,
Two guys
picks up
should
a
just land
couple
on him.
in transition, snaps on another.
It would
knock, and I don't
completely
think
break
he
the
does
entire-
but You're gonna head over to that Eisen squad. They frankly
Their-
had
their
a great
entire
map in
gameplay.
the first round. This is a squad a lot of teams
Soka's legit
weren't
sitting
really
all the
counting
way
on
in
to be a
Stronghold
top
in a
competitor.
water
They had a
tower.
great map thus
Oh, no,
far, and they're
he's
winning
in,
gunfights like that because they're
factory
playing
right now.
together. Same strategy.
Go, Eddie.
2v whatever's in your path. It's no more 3v3 fights, not until this Resurgence timer stops. King Maddie is on 5, by the way, overall. As here comes
It really
swooping in
disappoints me
the
that they
HE
talk so
Global
much
squad.
about
There's some
Fnatic, but they
trash talk
never show
between
them.
Our two Latin American North
They
teams.
showed
HE
Skull for a
Global
second,
versus
but that was the
Eisen,
first time
all
in
from
2
the
days that
same
they showed
region. They
them.
played against each other, with each other, traded teammates in the past. But here on main stage, they are rivals. They will not let the other team gain a single inch in this competition.
Moving over towards a big fight is Na'Vi up against Alula. Zephyr will actually crack Juki's, who's trying to push up the stairs.
Juki's
Gas
is so
galore.
dead.
Juki's
Yeah.
gets swarmed, Juki's gets cleaned up. And 2 players will still be alive for that side, but it looks like they're basically in a recovery situation. Na'Vi will lay claim to control center. I spoke about this as a landing spot earlier and how effective you can be from out of there. Right now, the land
Eddie's
completely
by himself in
belongs
prison.
to them. And we move back on over to our Falcon side. Soka has no kills thus far. He's been playing that anchor role, but he's looking to explode.
Soka on 1,142 damage without a single kill to his name and gets dumpstered on by Bagel. Just some bad
Dumpstered on is
timing pushing
crazy.
through. But Shifty
It's
on 6.
crazy.
The team in total on 11, by the way. That means Biffle has 5. They truthfully are sending Biffle and Shifty to 2v everything in their path, and it's working thus far. But they don't have their anchor, and Biffle's under fire by BSL. Somehow this team, who's been in trouble, frankly, this map, BSL has somehow restabilized. They got their team together. They're getting the loot they need to at least make some plays inside of the outer edge of this zone here in Factory.
And they are indeed, but the thing is
Lennon
you've
just
gotta
killed
be concerned
himself.
about the fact that you are surrounded by the Falcons and you have a lot of rotation to make elsewhere because the zone is going to shift you in about 45 seconds. You have a lot of ground to cover. You've got to go uphill. You're going to essentially be trying to push either through headquarters or towards a very
Oh,
compact prison.
finally!
By the way,
Thank
Bagel
you!
took down Biffle again, so they did not let Biffle rotate out.
Yes!
Noob continues
Good
to find
job!
elimination.
7
Big question
kills,
is, where
8
is the
kills!
Fnatic
Let's
club? Would they show
go!
up in Resurgence? And so,
So good,
far,
so good, so good.
They are on 16 kills.
16
ladies and gentlemen.
kills!
Noob's on 8. Half of
That's
the
my
team's kills
team.
resting
That's
on
my
Noob's back.
team.
This team is on fire as they fly around the map and likely have a chance to drop the biggest map of the day. But what's wild about map 2, Enigma, not a single team has been eliminated yet. It is still anyone's ball game with our multiplier still in play.
You can just see how the teams are learning and adjusting as we go. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, after this one, we actually split some of the players out of here and bring in a whole new batch. And the thing
Yeah, so it is
you've now
2
got the
maps.
situation with
I wish it was
Noobs,
more.
Almond and Skullface looking out to control top prison. Teams are going to be
Yeah,
rotating.
Ben is
up. We
gonna
spoke
go
about some of those just moments
Charles
ago, and
Dunn.
This is what you can do as Eisen pushes and Noobs finds him.
Yes!
And Noobs owns him up to
Almost
go
10
onto
kills
9.
already!
Fnatic continuing to pick things
Oh.
up here and look every part of the team we were hoping they'd be on land.
Do you guys have pest control over in the UK?
We do.
Okay, I think Almond and Noobs are like pest control. They're just like running around and gassing out all
Pest
the rats
control
in the
is
corners,
crazy.
hunting them down, trapping them, setting
Oh,
them up,
nice
and
snipe.
killing them.
Wow.
Them. As you see,
Really
Harbor
nice snipe out of Husk.
strategy. Well, Huskers, where is he? Above water tower, raining hellfire from above, and apparently can't clean up Lucanus behind the HVAC unit. Finally gets it. It does get netted to him. That's
Hatsuka and them,
three
our
for
first
Husk,
one
playing
wiped.
Anchor, but still finding kills.
Oh no, second one wiped.
He would love to drop a Fnatic player right now. He would love to drop Almond, but frustratingly, Noobs is there to continue to play pest control and shoot out the rats.
Skullface here just looking to find Huskers, looking to just hammer bullets through, but won't find enough purchase. So back on off with his
Yeah, this is
teammates.
stressful
The
because
problem is
Brellic's
you've got a
right
lot of players
underneath them.
you, so any gunfights that go on for a long period of time here, you are risking getting third parties, especially when Huskers decides to return fire just like that. Jackal being out of there for
I
this
wonder
duo
why
means that they are missing
Huskers
one of the players
dropped
that's been
out of
putting
the
on
water
work for them,
tower.
and they're trying to get an opportunity to
Oh,
get
they're
this
trying to
here
buy
where they can
back.
just essentially bring
The
him back in.
resurgence is
And
disabled.
Falcons missing Shifty.
Makes sense.
Biffle and Soak are going to have to make a rotation.
We're going to keep reminding you, you can see it on the display here. The respawn is currently disabled at the end of the third circle. If you see a 4 anywhere on the screen, up in the top middle, that means Resurgence is done for. You get eliminated, you are out of here. You got to get bought back. Your team gets eliminated, see you later. No coming back. from
Yeah,
this
they
one.
have to be really
BSL
careful about
trying
dying
to
here.
repeat success, trying to make history to be the first team to go back-to-back on land here for Resurgence. The Falcons, though, on the move, on the edge of the map.
And the Falcons are about to squeeze
Wait, who's
up
trying
on
to go
this, and they've
back-to-back
got a
on
lot of
land?
bodies in their way. We know that BSL are there, and we know that there's at least 2 other solos in the region, so potential here.
Dongy's
for
wiped.
The Falcons to go absolutely massive. We are losing more players off here as the Singapore
They need
team
to get
are
at least
losing
top
the
8
board.
here.
Soka gets it down
Eddie
onto
and
the
them
table. BSL
have to get at
suddenly
least top
realizing we've
8.
been squeezed by the Falcons, and you do not have
They don't
Resurgence.
even
You're
have to
in the world
engage in
paying
any
for your
gunfights. Like,
He
they
is the
have
only player
plenty
remaining
of
for
kills. Like, they
BSL.
just have to play their life right now.
One in trouble. Singapore was in second on the leaderboard. They're out of here in like 12th. No chance of moving up the leaderboard any more than whatever kills they got. We're not even into multipliers yet, Enigma.
Yeah,
and
he's
we're
so
moving into
dead.
the 5th and
GG's
6th circle
Liam.
as Liam finally falls with the PDS. He's hanging out in the gas as long as he can. Hardtrevs is not going to let Liam get up. That is a full team wipe. See ya. BSL not going to make history, not yet. We'll see who wins map number 2.
No, it's kill multipliers for placements, but
Skullface and Noobs essentially trying to pick players out of the
they're in a
sky.
really good
They're
spot
walking
here, but they do have to
towards their
rotate.
teammates. But look at
Whoever's
this
in chem right now.
Again, I go back to something though. If you are making a lot of noise on this rooftop, you risk getting third party from so many
Wait,
angles.
the
and there's a lot of
zone
players that are
is
still gonna
literally
rotate on up here. May well
the
push
wide
the
open
rooftop.
field.
Yeah, this is going to be a very
No.
interesting fight. You can see the zone is shrinking. That is certainly the case. It's about to get
Okay, they got
real
top
small,
8.
and it
They
is
got top
centering
8.
on
This
Water
is good.
Tower of all places. Noobs, this Fnatic squad, they
So
have
now they
ultimate
have the
height,
kill
and
mul-
frankly, now you
multi.
see the rotation of the zone begins
Biffle
to move.
down.
No one can pressure them on ultimate high, but the problem is
Oh,
they
Ben
have
just killed
to get all the
Soka.
way into zone, so they got to drop down, and they're going to be running into about 6 other teams, all trying to do the same thing. This is where the utter
This
chaos
is
of
gonna be
Resurgence and Numerous
crazy.
Island comes into play. The people here first will find success. Shifty finds one. Teammates answering back. Falcons out of here. They're in 8th place, a 1.2x multiplier, and Fnatic
Come on, boys.
somehow only lost 1 in that crazy transition.
That's
Look at
fine.
the zone pull.
The zone
That's
pull
fine.
has exactly just pulled the complete other way. So many teams.
Eddie's
have tried
dead,
to
but that's
rotate
okay,
with
'cause
that
like I said, they
Fnatic,
have the kills, so
and
they
then
just
the
have to
rest
play
of
for
the
placement now.
Shifty Biffle squad all in trouble there as they rotate on over and then essentially whiplash back into position. We're on board with
Okay,
Twisted
they're
Minds who just made a
5th.
rotation through the courtyard, and they've got to come back on themselves.
This is
with
good.
Navi
This is
awaiting.
good.
Navi yet again in the top 5. Navi yet again with the zone pull. This time, can they reverse history?
They might actually have
But
the
this
biggest
time,
game of the
win
tournament.
This encounter as the onslaught comes flying
Let's
at
go,
them.
Skull.
Aiden Squad, Twisted Minds had
Good
a
stuff.
terrible map
Good
one,
stuff,
and now
Skull.
a chance to reverse the curse.
They're playing this
swing
really
around
well.
the
They're
edge
playing
of the
this
zone,
really,
and
really
move
well.
into
Ben
this
just took
new
top
circle.
prison.
This is where you have to play zone, and they're going to make the rotation with gas mask, and they're going to lose.
There's
Smith
no
in
full
the
trios
rotation,
alive,
'cause they
except for
need to
oh,
get here, and
Zeppa
they
and
need to get
Limax
early
are the
reminder.
only
We're into
trio.
1.4x
Oh,
multiplier.
and
We need a
Smith. Smith just
1.7 at
rezzed.
least for second place, and Aiden's going to make a play. Finds 3 in his way, so backs off. Z-Smith somehow got the self-revive alive, so they
Oh,
have
they're
3.
getting cooked by
Aiden in
thermites.
trouble. They push the fight.
Aiden's
Navi
dead.
will not relent. Navi will not fall, but finally the third party, Hardtrevs, Drake, they come in and ruin Navi's
Oh my gosh.
day. Navi cannot get out of this top 5 position.
And it's not just
Ben
the
and them are
Shifty
gonna
competition,
win.
there's actually gonna be
Ben and
players
them are gonna
working on the edge of
win.
this, so while Trev tries to squeeze on up, Smith and Knight are just trying to play around.
There's
this,
no
but Jackson's gonna
trios.
continue
There's
to
no
encroach
trios left.
into
It's all
Skullface, actually
duos.
pissed off Drake. Fnatic are involved
It's
in
a
this
2v2v2.
conversation towards the end, but Twisted Minds, 2 players left and looking to try and push on through this
Ben?
gas. And Skullface and all
Oh my gosh, they have such a big game.
It's
It's a
It is
2v2
Fnatic
situation.
all day, every day in map 2, and it's not close. down below.
Come on, boys.
Twisted
Come on,
Mind holding
boys.
on by the hair of their chinny chin chin. It is a 2v2, but Fnatic have everything in their favor. They have all the kills. They got a 1.7x multiplier. The question is, will you make it a 2x? They push the fight first, and they win it 1, 2. Can they get
Oh!
both? No! Knight goes huge. The X Factor. Would he show up today? He does. Twisted Minds proves.
Oh, if he would have killed the first one a little faster. If they would have killed the first one a little faster, he would have done it. But that's okay because these guys didn't have a lot of kills. So even with them winning, Eddie and them have more points.
Could he deliver on land? Would he be the player that Twisted Minds wanted him to be? And he snaps for the victory.
Wow! That was such a good game out of them.
Said, was it the right move to get Knight at the end of the day? Was it the right move to pull a Resurgence-only player into competitive form yet again after a couple years off? The answer apparently is yes, at least in Map 2. A massive win in the final moments of Map 2 net the 2x multiplier. And I think, frankly, maybe more important, they stopped a Fnatic squad that easily...
Oh, they did really, really, really good. They got a 1.7, and in terms of kills, they smoked everybody else in kills. Like, smoked everybody else. Nobody was even close to the amount of kills that they had. And they got the second highest multiplier. They're going to be in first place, 100%. 100% first place after this.
They had a tough map 1, picking up just the 8 kills. Exploded into this one, however, but yes, Twisted Minds on your screen right now. The people who have
It's gonna be more than that, Rose. It's gonna be closer to a 40. Ben had 11 himself, Eddie had 9 or 10, and Skull had 5. So it's gonna be like close to a 40-point game.
They felt a little bit hot in, and today maybe won't be their day, but they have fixed things up there in that too.
Man, I love the math of kill multipliers, I gotta say. We tuned into Fnatic when there were 11 squads alive, and they had 17 kills, and then we didn't check in with their total kills for the entire map, and they get a 1.7x. So a massive amount of points thwarted, a massive amount of points gained for Twisted Minds. Taylor Reflections Double, what the heck is going on in the analyst booth?
42.5? That's so good! They needed that. They needed that.
They just cleaned up the competition. First time in a long time on land and called themselves the what?
I'm pretty sure we right? It was the Resurgence Janitor.
Resurgence
The retired janitor. And I said, hey, if Knight wins something, if he clutches, please can I bring a broom?
Incredible. I cannot believe. And he did clutch, right? Because that was almost a clutch moment coming out from Skullface, who nearly wins the 1v2.
I mean, it was down to a 1v2, but it was originally a 2v2.
That's
Twisted
right.
Minds forced to move all the way to one side of the circle to the other. They have to contest Na'Vi, keep them in face of Icons. Icons wipe Na'Vi. They push into Twisted Minds, lose the fight. Ahmed had the high ground, but didn't have the circle pull. It was everything just lining up. The stars aligned for Twisted Minds towards the end there, and it was just a huge moment to bring the broom out.
Had to bring the broom out, you guys. I had to. Listen, there's something, I'm telling you, we're predicting some stuff here. Even with the Destroy stuff coming back, right? Let's go. But that was insane, you guys. Closed endgame and new Icons, right? They were waiting on the other side, I believe, by a chemical rotating in and just really, really played spoiler alert.
Here's that moment, right? The 2v2. You can tell the height difference, right? At this point, I'm thinking Skullface and them, they've got it in the bag, but not so fast.
What happened, I think, right there is like Skull was like half a second too late. Half a second, because Ben drops down and Skull like just dropped half a second too late.
Cleanups, an incredible moment and a massive win coming out from Twisted Minds.
Yeah, you know what's wild about that? Actually, I feel like Armin went just a little bit too early. He
Yeah.
drops down just a little bit earlier than Skullface does. It's just a tiny bit out of sync.
Yeah.
And it is those microseconds that make all the difference there in that final play. A little bit more in sync, that would have been an
Yeah, I agree. They just were just a little out of sync.
Knight to go underneath them too, using that height to the disadvantage of the side of Falcons. I mean, it's why you call him in to play on your team for Twisted Minds. They pick him up for these Resurgence tournaments just because he makes those micro plays and those chaotic moments. This guy, he's been around when it comes to Call of Duty, not just in Warzone.
Warzone, but in multiplayer as well. And
Yeah,
he
literally,
is
Malevi,
on
literally.
top of his game right now.
But I told you guys, they won the
On fire in
initial
the solos,
gunfight
on
at
fires
Grandma's.
in
They won the
trios. This
initial
is a
gunfight,
team
started
that
fried.
I had to
Last
take in
game,
my
they
predictions, and I am
lost
really glad I
their
took them in my
their initial
predictions.
gunfight. It was a blunder map. It's all about that first gunfight.
Fans out there, but today, right now, we're gonna make you Twisted Minds fans. I love that
Yeah.
ending, incredible stuff, and really. A big ending for a lot of different reasons. We talked about obviously that 1v2 at the, or should be 2v2 at the ends. Twisted Minds, right, Fnatic. But talk to me about Hardtrap because he was in an impossible situation, but made it look pretty good.
Yeah, and like we said, kind of like where that zone was pulling, right? For the most part, we did see, which, by the way, shout out to Fnatic, because even from the last game, right, being alive in that late game, but how many eliminations that they were to pull up at prison, right? Just each level taking over. But while that chaos was going down on the other side, yes, the rotation over on the other side of the prison, Hardtrevs, new icons, they had to rotate far, but playing spoiler alert, right? Navi on the other side too, just that chaos. Guys, it was chaos everywhere.
It was chaos everywhere, for real.
Some of these teams were those rotations.
Yeah, you know what's funny, actually, and just a very quick shout out here. This is the second time, and I'm sure it won't be the last today. New icons are hanging right now. I mean, the fact of the matter is, we were discussing them to be a really difficult group. Group B, the group of death. So they're going to have to deal with all those teams every single game that they play. Fact of the matter is, they've been in a discussion twice now. They're not just hanging, they're doing really well in these games.
We gotta put some respect on the teams that we counted out. New icons and BSL are showing up here. It's just, it's been such a crazy day so far. Where maybe it was the break that we had at the start, and they just locked in for this one.
Could have been. I mean, the break. Everybody had that break though. You know, they all had that break, and maybe some.
Yeah, no, they're doing really good, Rogers. Really, really, really good.
Though, I mean, some teams are heating up, like you said, that we weren't necessarily expecting. I will say though, it is great. Even though Fnatic, they get the second place, they lose that 1v1. At least Skullface was in a very tough spot. I'm so happy for their performance because yesterday in solos we had a lot of questions about them. How were they going to perform? Skullface was almost dead last in solos, and now they should be near the top. Let's actually find out and take a look.
Let's take a look.
Current standings, the leaderboard. We know Destroy was leading a little bit before, but new
What?
First place.
Yo, that is amazing. Especially, I mean, we had mentioned it. Group B is stacked, and man, new
That doesn't make
icons,
sense.
36.4 in the standings, but Fnatic, look at that jump up. You know, consistency is key. 35.2.
Yeah, Fnatic obviously having a great game there. We talked about it, right? This is the
That doesn't
second
make
time,
sense.
2 games in a row now in which they've tried to get prison control. This time it was a little bit different, we'll say that much, right? I mean, last game, they were kind of hiding out. They were chilling like a villain in bottom prison. This game, instead, it was going to be the top prison area, right?
That's right.
Just insane play from Fnatic.
He nearly had 35 kills that game.
Interview from Boogs.
That doesn't make sense.
Focus on game one, that opening win of the day. What an incredible performance. That must have been a nice little confidence boost, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a good confidence boost, yeah, 100%.
So I think that one of the things we should
I'm
talk
trying to
about
go look
is,
on their
you know, in
website
that
to
first
see
game, you guys
what
were
the...
hunkered down, you know, underneath bottom prison, right? I feel like from you being the IGL of the team, it showed really good patience. Is that something that you've been working on, considering Resurgence is obviously so chaotic normally?
Yeah, I don't have the best gunny, it's a well-known fact, but...
I don't know who's on icons. I'm gonna assume
made a good call.
it's Stu in them?
And then he got a lucky...
it's these guys.
Stuck a player, and then we just stacked them out and took their position.
I mean, that's amazing. I think that one of the things I noticed that the casters and the analysts were talking about in between game 1 and 2 was your team chemistry and how good
I feel like
it
that
has been.
doesn't make
Is that something
sense.
you guys feel you excel at?
Is that, can anybody look
I wouldn't say excel, but we've
like where the
definitely been
rules
working on it,
are?
just playing ranked, even multiplayer ranked.
I don't see anything, just the standings.
Now, since yesterday, obviously, we had like solos yesterday going into today. Did you guys have like a sit down and chat and essentially
This
work
isn't
out what
making
you
any
guys wanna come
sense.
into today doing the most or focusing on the most? Because, you know, it's going to be absolutely carnage today. You know it is. But yeah, what was that team like strat meeting like?
Yeah, we didn't do the best in solos, but none of us are worried because it doesn't mean anything in the trios event. But yeah, we just sat down, figured out some landing spots, and then it worked well, I guess.
It did indeed. Boogs, thank you so much for joining me in this interview. I really appreciate it. We can't wait to see what you guys bring to the table for the rest of today and tomorrow. Let's hope you get into the finals. Congratulations, man. We'll see you later. All right, and for now, we are going to head back over to the studio so they can carry on breaking everything down before we dive into our next set of matches.
All right, Barty, thank you for that interview over at the STC Arena.
It's Lucanaz and Hardtrev, by the way, whoever's in first place right now. Lucanaz, Hardtrev, and Drek.
Twisted Minds, big victory overall. Huge come up from Fnatic, and Icons taking over first, which is tremendous based off their eliminations. Already a major surprise day, and I'm genuinely blown away from it. Now, I know we're transferring from A to C, but a little bit more conversation about those first 2 games, because I want to talk about Group B a little bit more, since they're going to be a little bit on ice. As we look through our highlights, though, I do want to talk to you specifically, Seymour, about this battle that we've been consistently seeing throughout Maps 1 and Map 2, BSL versus Falcons.
Yeah, I think BSL versus Falcons has kind of shaken things up in Group B, because we had the group of death, we had the teams that we talked about, and BSL kind of wasn't really in that conversation. But Falcons haven't really been able to play to their full potential yet, because they've had BSL breathing down their neck. And you hear Boogs on the interview talking about he's got the best gunny here. He's proving it.
Yeah, now it says that they have 35 points overall, bros.
Literally the Kings, and if you go for the Kings, you better not miss. So far, they're not missing this fight between Falcons as well as BSL. I'm curious to see if over the course of the day, one of these teams, maybe even Falcons, decides to go for a new drop spot, because it just hasn't been paying off for them.
Yeah, you know what's funny is right now we have a look at that kind of massive mess up that we were talking about, right? All the teams that were sat inside prison. I think there was about 4 or 5 of them. And
on all layers.
Yeah, all layers. I mean, prison, it's a multifaceted building, right? There's a lot going on inside the prison. And you're seeing basically that transition from prison all the way down to the final zone. Just a quick shout out to Na'Vi, by the way.
This is impossible. That's not right. They should be up by like probably 10 or 15 points on second place.
In our final stand-ins. Surely it's got to come to them soon.
Absolutely, but how smart was it for Twisted Minds to rotate outside of zone in through the grass side, right, and go around behind Na'Vi, and Aiden dodging all of those thermites was absolutely
Aiden did not dodge the thermites. He died to them.
I believe, yeah, Zeppa did knock Aiden, but for Knight to clutch through all of that chaos, you got to give credit to the rotation, right? We talk about play styles changing late game. Z-Smith making that call, listen to me. Let's rotate outside of zone, get into a better position, and that is what's key in the end game. You have to play positioning perfectly.
You have to.
It's
fixed. So pivotal, especially on Rebirth. Positioning is everything. I got excited when I saw Almond up here, because I'm like, ooh, things are looking pretty special. When you're up there, it's great, but when the zone then starts to pass you and you got to go down on top prison, now you get put into the blender. It's never an easy thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well with prison, right? I think there's kind of a double-sided blade, as it were, right? I mean, yeah, there's that advantage, obviously, of having the high ground and be able to look in multiple directions, be able to move in multiple directions. But once you get forced off of prison, you are vulnerable. You're flying down. You're in a position that you're not favorable.
Yeah.
And that
London is really struggling, foes. Really struggling.
An unfavorable position, and that's why that timing was not there with Skullface. Didn't really have a choice.
Look at Aiden.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if he's timing. It wouldn't surprise me if he is, but Aiden, he knows his land, right? He has played in so many
I'll
lands
try to find it again. My thing crashed.
So he's got that experience.
Give me a second.
He's bringing the energy, and it's incredibly valuable. BSL, though, a team that has just been exceeding all expectations. So happy that they're doing so well. Now, though, I do want to focus the conversation to Falcons one more time, because obviously the big dogs, the heavy hitters, and the fans' favorites. I think maybe some readjustments need to be made. Now,
my internet, like, not working?
Why, previous competitor, obviously, but I'm watching them go strong cold. Again, they're going up to that greenhouse rotation just outside of Tents.
Yeah.
They eventually make their way over to Factory. 2 times they have found themselves in trouble.
Just whisper it to me, Malevi. I don't think my permit stuff works.
Whether it be headquarters or up towards prison.
Yeah, I don't even have that command.
Off top 8. That rotation is hard enough as it is.
Yeah.
And both times they found themselves be put into the blender, finishing up both. In
W Sosa, W
Sosa. Which is really good too, because in some of these situations, like we talk about regain, right? It's really hard.
Okay, yeah, they had 40.8 points.
But for Falcons to be able to fight against that adversity, that's something that they're good at, right? They thrive in these chaotic moments to where they can survive late game. But you know, that's what's interesting too about this Group B in particular for Falcons. They're switching out right now. They do have time to maybe readjust, look at some strategies, maybe talk about it, but also watch some of the watch their team, watch the group that they just played against. So now A versus C, now they can think.
I mean, they're acting as if the Falcons did super bad, like they didn't.
Right? It's like from Factory rotating.
They literally have like 40 points. They didn't do bad.
I'm thinking maybe potentially a readjustment in the positioning, or maybe rotating a bit earlier. But like you said, they have a chance now. Sit down, relax a little bit, and see what their competitors are going to be doing. The next time we're going to be watching Group B, Falcons, and many others, right? The group of death, as we've been calling them.
Yeah, they
is,
have
going to be
44
in the
points.
next 2 maps after the 2 maps that are coming up here when they play
So
against Seeger.
Eddie
Now,
and them
it is
should be
all
up
about A
6
versus
points to
C.
second
A,
place.
they're obviously warmed up. C, they now have to go on stage and get warmed up themselves. Who are we looking out for Group C to challenge Group A?
Well, this is the thing. With Group C, you had so many teams that just have been waiting even longer than those two. Just watching, waiting, having that chance to maybe speculate on who is kind of sitting where on Group A, who to target. The Twisted Minds team, obviously people are going to be paying attention to
Yeah, he's
them
going to be
now
playing
on
again,
what they're going into
Rogers,
the
but
second set
not
with, because
in this
you have
set. He's going to be
Omid,
playing the next set.
Heretics, you have Cloud9, so many teams.
So after these
that
2
are
games,
smart,
they'll
so
play.
many teams that have something to prove coming into this EWC. And although you don't want to count Group C just as the easy team, this is a group that you have to look at these teams and you see they have all something to prove.
Yeah, and that is the big one. I mentioned it, right? I mean, Cloud9, the fact that they're now coming into this group. Again, it is not an easy
Now,
group
this is
by
going to be
any
really
means. There are no
interesting
easy teams
because,
here at the Esports World Cup. That's why it's the World Cup, for heaven's sake. It's
Group
something
A will
special
have
as well,
been
right?
played
But still,
2
C
games
is
or
an
4
easier
games
group
by the
than
time that
Group B,
Eddie
for
has
sure.
only
That's why we
played
call it
2.
Group B.
So I'm very
Yes,
curious to see
Cloud9
how
by no means an
much
easy team.
like
Something I wanna
Aiden
point
and
out
them
from
will
that last
pass
game, we
them
saw
by.
Huskers in that position, right, on the
Because
water
if they can
tower.
hold their
Huskers are gonna
ground
be in this
here,
game. Blaming Gladiators, they
this
are
will be
out
really
of
good
this
for
one. They
them.
are in Group B.
It's free
But
real
I'll tell you
estate.
who will be there. Redman, mate. He's got it. He's on free rent. He will be in that water tower.
be
He will
there.
be anchoring for us.
I think they're up 20
Yeah, I
points
mean,
on Aiden's
Group
team.
C, you're right. Like, I mean, okay,
So,
maybe people say it's the easier group.
I
but
want to
mean,
see like how
with
much
strategy-
Aiden
Right,
catches
oh,
This guy did.
catches them by.
Yeah, maybe,
That's
maybe,
gonna be
but,
really interesting to
you know,
see.
Like, you're thinking about some of these players, Team Heretics, Abwiz, of course, Oiki, just pulling off that crazy win yesterday. We're still gonna see some craziness coming from this group, and yeah, Cloud9, that's a good shout.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's
I mean,
updated.
obviously, Team Zix have been pumping them up. They're now about to be in front of their home crowd. When we talk about Team Zix, Hamoud, both Saudi locals, right, representing Saudi Arabia themselves, and then you also have Krims, who's representing Pakistan, the only Pakistani competitor going into global finals and also competing today. So a lot of pride and prestige there. I cannot.
Aw,
wait
that's such
to,
a nice
see what
photo of
they're gonna bring
Eddie.
To the table, AB Wiz, we talked
Hi,
about.
right there.
officially stealing,
Hello.
some of
You
those
wanna show them your
points. They
haircut?
can do that. They're Group C, right?
showed him your
We'll have to
haircut?
Talk about now, Drew. When we come to new
Show them how
icons,
handsome
though,
you
once
look
again,
right
new
now.
Icons have been tearing it up. They've been doing sewing well, and from what I'm hearing, we do have our MVP. Whenever it comes to him, let's see who it is. Drake.
Drake.
Okay, Drake
Wow.
MVP. I like this stream.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'm sure that comes as a surprise to all of us, right? I mean, coming out from a heavy-hitting group, to be able to do that, but for the confidence that he was showing through and through, he was super aggressive in every single gunfight. And if you noticed, he was taking down some good players too. I believe a couple of those squads, it was Tommy and Co, right? Going against them, Juki's, I mean, Patsuka. You're seeing some good players that they're going against that they're not afraid to challenge.
And I don't want to take anything away from Lucina. It's a monster map #1 as well. 7 kills for new icons. Like, this team, I don't know what they kind of talked about between the solos and the trios or what they've really been working on together heading into the EWC.
Harley, thank you so much for the 16 months.
And
I appreciate
found
you
it
very
hard,
much.
And I'm looking at all the teams, and I didn't pick up new icons right now. I'm like, why did I pick up this team?
Felt a bit silly, right? I mean, Drake, MVP, match MVP. That's big for him, and that's going to give him the confidence, right? Pushing forward, new icons, taking on the big dog, the biggest of dogs in the tournament, and they are now the big dog themselves. Now, how far can they continue to go? That's the question that only they can answer, but shout out to Drake for that. And by the way, they are in Oregon. They are represented, so new icons.
It's a little
yeah,
frustrating
good. And
because
new icons now, the question,
Fnatic and them are in
do they
first,
keep them? I
so
think
one of
so.
those
Do they
three
give
should have
them a
gotten an
raise? I'm saying
MVP.
give them a raise, all right? New icons leading the charge, but now C has entered into the fight. How well will they do? We'll find out all that and more when we come back from the break.
Hector is freaking out. Wait, why? Yeah, I'm rewatching. The math isn't wrong. They got 40.8 points, and before that game, they had 11.2 points. So that's 52 points.
Fire all day tomorrow. You could just keep it going as best as you can.
What
into
is
that top
IFB?
14 teams. The pressure is everything here in EWC. We've seen it from so many teams at the top. We've seen it, teams at the bottom starting to rise as well. New icons in BSL, and it goes to show that literally nobody is safe here. So in these last couple of games, you do have to see these changes come through, and I'm excited to see Group C.
I'm excited to see Group C as well. The reality is you only, at least for group play, there's only 8 games played per group. And that's not a lot, really, when you think about it. Right now, only 6 more remain specifically for Group B at this point in time. So,
yeah.
Group A, I should say.
They do, though. They do.
The point is you have to be playing all out. If you don't,
In his right
you
ear.
might get left behind.
You might.
So now let's push our conversation once again back into Group C, the new challengers who are coming
They
through.
should definitely address the fact that the leaderboard was wrong that they first showed.
Star-studded performance. The team that obviously, like I said, 2 Saudi locals, but then you also have 1 representing Pakistan in the name of Crims. A team that is about to play in front of their home crowd. A team that represents the Falcons during the World Series of Warzone run to Global Finals, and they will be at Global Finals as they finished off top 3 when it came to the regional finals, right, when it came to EMEA. So, with that being said, no, they're not earning points today for the club championship. But
wait,
that
what?
would be the other roster of Biffle, Shifty, and Ahsoka. But this team still, though, has the Falcons banner behind them in some way or another. So you better believe the pride is there. I think this is their time to shine. And truly, the first test for this roster outside of solos, which wasn't the best. But that's okay, because we've seen some teams today who weren't the best in solos, and they've been absolutely star-studded today. A good example of that is Fnatic, right? Who have been absolutely out of this world. Again, who's your team that you're looking out for? Because I know we talked about Heretics right at the beginning, and Heretics is also in that Group C.
Yeah, we're looking at Cams, right? He was the team that kind of led them into having this group, kind of being
in
up
Group
there in
C,
the standings.
and if they don't talk about Breadman, I don't know. Breadman, I have a feeling is gonna cook.
But also both of his teams, both methods, right? Being a part of being retired and a CDL coach now, coming back in and playing and just, doing somewhat decent, still amazing for Heretics. I'm excited to see how, what's going to change from yesterday to today, because yes, it's trios. Yes, it's going to be different.
It's going to be interesting, though, Nelly, because he's playing against
Cams and Daga,
Huskers,
though,
I'm pretty sure.
Warzone last year.
Right.
Who's Huskers' org that he's playing under?
I'm just excited to see what they can do.
I am too. Heretics, a great organization to represent, and also a great organization coming back of Cloud9. Let's talk about Cloud9 right there here, and they're looking to go big for the first time on main stage.
Good segue. It's kind of funny, right? Because again, a lot of the conversation around Cloud9, I think in the solo stage was just Breadman. But I think you do need to talk about the rest of the roster, right? Joe, again, has been a staple performer in Warzone for the last few years. He's also one of those really fun players to watch, and he and Breadman have been playing together for about as long as I can remember, which I'll be honest, my memory is pretty terrible, so it might not be that long. You know, and Jace as well joining that roster for this season. Of course, they were playing with Limax last season. Which is an
Yep.
interesting pickup
You're
in
right.
itself.
Let me
Still,
refresh the stream.
This Cloud9 roster, really, really good. And again, I think, you know, they're kind of having not so much an easy time of it. Happy with the fact that they are in Group C.
Yep.
They are,
There
in
you
my
go.
mind, the biggest threat easily in Group C. And again,
The
going
biggest.
back to what I said before the break, I think Redman is that guy. I mean,
Oh,
he is gonna be the
they all
biggest
look
problem
like
here
so
by
nice
far.
in
The
these
fact that he is
photos,
just
and
able to
everybody
do
else
something
looks like
on
so like,
Resurgence with the
and these guys are
Kar98.
like,
I mean, it's just silly.
we're here
It's
for
silly.
a
And by
good
the way, that man
time.
smiling on the left, Joe, I love that man. He's great. He's a wonderful competitor. He's been playing for the longest time. Joe is also going to be bringing the heat. 4 and Jace, though,
Movement
another
king.
scary, and the movement king and Joe, right, and 4 and Jace. This trio can absolutely go the distance. And,
Everybody else
talking
is
to
always
Ken, we
like
talked to Brett,
doing-
man, we heard
doing that
interview,
gamer
right?
pose.
Would you rather fight a bear or what was the other one? A
Grizzly.
gorilla.
A gorilla.
A gorilla. And he said, well, I got brass knuckles that would take on the gorilla, I believe it was. So, hey, he's ready to take on the world just like he's ready to take on the competition. Now, let's go to Group A, though. Some teams that maybe did well and some teams that struggled. The big one for me, Ayula, right? Ayula taking some early losses. They didn't get their feet underneath them. In Game 1, they took an early L. All 3 were eliminated. They were the first team eliminated in Game 1. Game 2, they started off rocky as well, Seymour.
Yeah, it's kind of scary
Okay, so
because
Destroy,
you had such a good day
Lennon.
yesterday, getting 2 wins in the solos.
What team is
but
Huskers?
It's going to set you back a little bit considering you were
Let me
literally
see
the
if he
first
made an
team knocked
announcement.
out today in your first game. You get 0 points in that one. You have a little bit of catch up to do in these next 2 games. And not only that, you have
GG.
teams in your group, Twisted Minds, SGP, Navi, and Destroy,
Demon
who, alongside
Gladiator.
PSL, let's be honest, who have all been performing exceptionally well. This isn't going to be easy
Okay,
for
they're Group
Alula
B,
to
actually.
just
Never mind. They're in
dig
the
his
same
way-
group
or
as
dig
Eddie.
their way out of this position. They
JK.
have a lot of work to do right now.
A lot of work to do.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of that was because of who they were fighting, right? It was a lot of bio, you know,
That's right.
bio action, and they
Yes.
were fighting Stewu, Patsuka.
I'm
and
really
Exit, so
excited
it's
for
like,
Huskers and
you
Breadman
have
to go
choose
against
some
each
of
other
these
because they
teams.
both have
Alright,
the
who am
same
I gonna
exact
be fighting?
strat.
Maybe what good teams should I be avoiding?
That's fact.
But it's like for Alula, yes, they were fighting some good teams, and it was just difficult to recover. And what I believe map 2, we saw some adjustments.
Yeah.
They were able to maybe make some type of recovery, Brody.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying different things. I think you could definitely
Yeah.
tell that. I think Tommy was trying to be the anchor in the play, trying to move forward somewhat to get them some kind of path out of bio, as you were saying, but
Right.
they just couldn't do it. I think Tommy felt, I want to say it was to Lucanas and Car. I'm not entirely
Yeah,
sure whether
it
it was
was.
them that
Yes,
took them out.
I think it was.
But yeah, Tommy going down, I think, just kind of ruined their entire play. And even at the start of the map with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gunfights they were taking, it just felt like they were lacking the same venom that you would normally expect
Oh.
from those guys. They
God,
were not winning the
scared me.
gunfights. Juki was
Okay, first
unable
of
to
all,
get
the
it
lemonade.
done, as was
Uh-oh.
Lennon up top. I mean, they just couldn't win those opening gunfights. Something has to change for Alula right now.
And I will say they are one of the teams that are sticking together, which typically is a great thing. But in Resurgence, at least what I've noticed off the first 2 games, the best teams are having one player be the anchor, whether that be over in Stronghold with Ahsoka. I think you mentioned Nate Dogg. He was top tower overlooking prison, right? Top light tower. Alula is a team that I think just needs to make an adjustment. I don't
Lennon's
know who
pose
would
is so
anchor,
funny.
To be fair, but I mean, hey, it's got to be one of them.
Oh man, it's just so funny seeing these pictures every single time. I mean, everyone else takes it seriously, right? Tommy, you know, he's been in the business for many years. He takes that seriously. Juki's is also right there. Lennon is just such a personality, and honestly, I think he probably is my single favorite European Warzone player. A, because he's just so funny. He's just, honestly, he's such a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And B, because he's nice. There's not a single iota of ego to this guy.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I was just gonna say, so sweet, so kind. But Len, right? Like, he's always been a slayer, always been like that clutch factor of the squad. I don't think he would make. I mean, maybe they alternate anchors. You know, but Tommy. You know, obviously he's just one of the best IGLs in the game. But you know, I was just gonna say for Len, I just loved the fact that he shouted out his girl. You gotta love some of the COD Warzone girls.
Yes.
I mean,
The
I saw
brownie points.
I saw Peachy, you know, cheering on Ben, Fnatic. You know, you got Almond that buff, and as well as you know Sally supporting Shifty too. You gotta love the COD Warzone girls. I just wanted to give a shout out to some of them.
Shout out to the girlfriends out there, all right? Getting those brownie points is Lennon, and getting brownie points from me is Juki's. I'm a big fan. Let's hear what Juki's had to say.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Esports World Cup here in Riyadh. I'm Enigma, and today we're doing interviews, and we've got one of the UK's best players to ever touch the stage. It is Juki's. Juki's, welcome
Going on. Thank you for
aboard.
having me.
How you feeling, man?
I feel good, you know, feel good. Had a good rest yesterday. I'm good to go.
Do you think, at the minute, you're one of the best players in the game?
At Warzone on a whole, yeah. You know,
Okay.
Resurgence, I've been learning it though. You know, the last couple of weeks. It's again, it is Warzone. Bit of a twist, you know. You get loads of lives, but.
So then, who do you think is the best player in the world?
I think Tommy on a whole. You know, my teammate.
Okay.
Put some gas in there for him.
All right. You're loading into the map. Is there any team you don't want to land on you?
No, not really. We're all in the same boat. At the beginning of the game, we've all got a pistol. Anything can happen. We can all kill. We can all shoot. So there's not really any team I don't mind landing on us off the rip.
Is there a specific team or player that you really want to go after on this map?
There's one team on this game at the moment that you don't really want to run into. You know, they've got everything as a team, like the structure, like the team.
Sorry guys, I'm watching 2 streams at once.
Experience, they've got everything. I probably don't even need to say who they are.
I mean, we're gonna have to in an interview.
You know, SSD.
Yeah.
You know,
the Falcons. Yeah.
But they are very unpredictable, like so unpredictable. I feel like everyone else is predictable apart from them.
Is there anyone who's not here that you wish was, so you could maybe put them in their place?
Yeah, Shogun. He's good at like running around and just shooting his gun. Everything else that comes with him just doesn't really work, obviously, as teams in his past know. So yeah, I wouldn't mind running into him on the map and putting him down.
Is it a gaming thing or a personal thing? 'Cause I'll be honest, I was expecting a different answer there.
Bit of both. Nah, I don't know, you know, he's very good. But I just love to put him down, yeah. And I'd let him know, I'd put a full clip into him as well.
What do you want to say to friends, family, supporters, whoever has made it your journey to get here?
Oh God. I mean, I let them know every time, you know, I get that special feeling of how blessed I actually am. I'm very grateful for my community that I've got back at home, all the people that have supported me, my family, my mum, my dad, my brother most of all. I do this for my kid, as people know, Elijah, my baby. And yeah, I'm grateful to be here. I'm thankful for everything and everyone.
Wonderful stuff.
Thank you.
That was Jukies representing Al Ula here at the Esports World Cup. I'm looking forward to seeing how you do, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I don't know if you guys caught that, but Jukies was hanging out on that couch, man. He was relaxing. He said, nobody else matters. We all start with the pistol. It's all the same ball game, so we don't care who we have to play.
No, I'm sure each one of you know that at some point this game, it's all in the mind. And, you know, who your competitor is, it's all up to how you perceive them. And you see, for Jukies, he's saying for his whole team, everybody starts with a pistol. Everybody has to fall into the map, and at some point or not, you're going to have to fight them. So why not do it at the beginning? He doesn't care who he's going to fight. He doesn't care who drops on them. And that is a good mindset to come into that. Not only that, I like to hear that he's gassing up Tommy as well. Just making sure that your whole team is on top of the world. And I think for Alula, that is exactly what we saw yesterday, and we need to start to see today.
Tommy, an absolute veteran, one of the top earners, actually the top earner whenever it comes to Warzone competitive. And he's been around the ball game, both not only in multiplayer, but also Warzone. So Tommy, you got to gas him up whenever you can. Alula, I wish him the best of luck. We're about to watch their final 2 games of the day, but the first 2 for Group C. What an exciting prospect, right? Group C, I hope they're ready to go, because if they're not, they're about to get wiped out, because Group A, they've been looking absolutely stacked. Real quick caveat, let's talk about Team Destroy as we head into the first game, or game number 1 for A and C. Destroy, how well do you think they're going to do?
Fabulous.
Fabulous?
Yeah.
Stellar.
Stellar?
On top of the world right now.
Okay, fair enough. On top of the world. Remember, they started off in first place after game number 1, and they're looking to reclaim that title. We'll see if they'll be able to do so. Those in chat, though, who do you think is going to come out on top from Group A and C as they face off? And also get your votes in via STC at the link down below. We would love to hear who you think is going to be champion by day number 4. It's time to get it started. Group A versus C. Let's head to the STC arena.
Welcome back to the STC Arena, where we have just witnessed BSL and Twisted Minds take the opening 2 maps of the day. Now, Group B have left the stage so that Group C can come on and set everything up. And if you remember, at the top of the show, we introduced Groups A and B individually. So we're going to do the same thing right now for Group C. Milosh, why don't you take us away, my friend?
Thank you very much for that, then, Barney. Let's kick it off. Cloud9. They are Breadman, Joe, and Foreign Jace.
Okay, sorry guys, I was watching a different stream.
Next up, we've got Team AB Wiz, consisting of Prodigy, Wiz, and Oki.
They are 2020. They are Team Vision. Rocket, Clapper, and Zakar.
Standing on the stage, we've got Team Heretics, Cams, Method Zik, and Daga.
Just leaning. Zero reaction out of that guy.
Up next, it is Team Omit. LLM, J-Tech, and Tenux.
Next up, we've got Team Zix. We have Crims, Hamud, and Zix.
That must feel so good to get that kind of like round of applause.
Finally, Onyx Raven, Alex Mojo, and Nenus.
Our teams
This is the team that I think I said was the local team.
Ready to go. We are about to potentially see
Pretty sure they said that on the
big
broadcast yesterday.
shift in this lobby. So keep your eyes peeled. We've got plenty of action left to go throughout the rest of this tournament, and of course today in the group stage. So without further ado, let's head back over to the casters to get map 3 underway.
Thank you, my
Damn!
on the stage.
His
We got a
glare
brand
could have
new group of teams
literally
joining us.
killed
You
me.
heard their introductions. You know them, you love them. We got some crowd favorites, but I gotta say here in the booth here, Enigma, who's your favorite coming in from Group C? Because I'm gonna be honest, they haven't touched the game in like 2-3 hours at this
He
point.
ain't playing
They're a little
around.
bit cold.
You should be
We'll see if he
competing.
breaks the hot real quick.
Yeah, we talked about icing the kicker at the top of the show, and it really truly is for a lot of these sides. They've had no competitive play over the last few hours, so it's how do you come into this against a set of squads that are waiting and ready to go. And honestly, for me, I think I'm going to go with the crowd. I think one of my favorites coming into this is going to be that Team Zix lineup. It's two boys from Saudi Arabia, locals here in Riyadh, and then one player coming in from Pakistan. And this side have been looking better every single time. We see them throughout 2024, even picking up a surprise third in regional finals. And surprises is the story.
Avocado question, what's
Yeah,
up?
Speaking of surprises, that story.
Oh my God,
yeah,
AB
new
Wiz.
icons near the
Can't
top
breathe.
of the leaderboard. I think them and Fnatic are jockeying back and forth at the top. That new icons team, by the way,
I feel like
representing
Koa
Brazil. All right, so watch
would
out
be
for this
significantly
brand new
more
board. They are
aggressive than Arthur would be.
dominating today. Drake are MVP,
Arthur is literally like a
11
teddy
kills
bear
by
and a
himself
dog.
in that last map. They're near the top of this leaderboard. They're here to play, and they were the bottom of their pool for Pool B. So
Like
that
Arthur
takes a
has
break.
zero
Good about
self-defense.
themselves. Who's at the bottom of Pool
Like
C?
self-defense.
Pool C? It's Onyx Ravens.
Like
okay? So
reaction
we must see another
instinct.
surprise with the Onyx Ravens team. Now, this is such a fun story. I had a chance to talk to Mojo, captain of this Onyx
They did so
Ravens
good,
team.
Penguin. They're in
They
first
actually
right now.
competed last year for a ton of stages of multi-competition with the World Series of Warzone and other competitions, and they actually
Yeah,
got
zero
beat
sense
out
of
this
self-preservation.
time
Like,
by
absolutely
the
not.
Six squad. A crazy storyline. They're looking for revenge against some of their friends from right around the corner, maybe a couple minutes away here in Riyadh. So a very fun storyline for both of these two local teams, and I really do believe that surprise is the name of the game today. There are some, frankly, not that many surprises for a couple of teams. I think Fnatic being near the top of the leaderboard, we expected them to do well, of course. But speaking of surprise, Guild not playing anymore and near the bottom of the leaderboard. That's your pick, my friend. What's going on?
I mean, it was my pick for day one. I'm going to remind you, there's not my pick for the overall tournament, and I have to do that because it is an underperformance.
Yeah.
They have really dropped the ball there.
Yeah,
in
they're
their
only
opening
so
games. Have
this
to
is a
find a way
4-day
to pick
LAN,
back up
Cody.
later on. And
So
in
yesterday was
particular,
solos,
King AJ,
today
man, I've
it's
spoken
groups,
a lot
tomorrow is
on
also
this
groups,
desk over
I
the last
think.
2 days,
And
but just
then
1 point
the
from
last
2
day
games,
is finals.
absolutely
So
unstoppable at the
today,
top of the show.
each group
and
plays two
Group B, I think you're
maps
a team
or
that
4 maps.
struggled. This
So
break
today they will
could
play a
be your
total.
saving grace, right? They're the only
Wait, no.
group
Today
that
they
doesn't
play 6
play
maps.
back-to-back
6
games. We
maps.
have
2
Group C
maps per
coming in.
group.
They're
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
playing their 2 games
6
here
maps.
with Group A, then they're going to be playing Group B. So Group B, the only team that has to take a break. They get 2 games
But
break,
each
2 games. That's how this group
each
play
like
round
section
robin
of
works,
groups
right?
is only
So I
2
think
maps. So
could be the
example,
saving
like
grace for
the
these squads
group
at the top,
A
and it
versus
could
group
be a
B,
coolant
they
for
play
some of
2
the teams at
maps.
the top. So
Now
we
it's
could
group
see a restabilization
A
of
versus
B
group
when
C,
we
they
come
play
back.
2
But,
maps. And
hey,
then it's going to be
B, Pool
group
of Death.
B
Didn't
versus group
expect new
C, A, they play 2 maps. So you're only playing 2 maps at a time.
There, but Group A, talk to me about them. Who are some of the teams you're looking at from Group A to continue their success going into this matchup?
I mean, I think in particular we've got to look at Na'Vi. They pick up 40.4
I said that I think that Koa would be significantly more aggressive than Arthur, Peachy, because Koa already has like a lot of stress and anxiety, whereas Arthur is like.
But yeah, if we're talking best teams currently in A, it's got to be Team Na'Vi leading the way.
I'm looking at Twisted Minds. Here we go. The first map for Group C, our third map of day 1 of our group stages here at the Esports World Cup Call of Duty Warzone. We've had a blast here in the booth, and we're just getting started. So pumped to drop into this map, my friends. And look, your bottom of the leaderboard, your bottom of your group, it's a brand new day.
Oh yeah, I wanted to send Eddie a photo. EWC just tweeted out a photo of him, and I think that he should make that his profile pic.
It might only take one banger map to take you all the way to the finish line.
And that's one of the things. We look at that scoreboard and it is tight up there. So everything's still to play for. If it's been a slow afternoon thus far, then you have got time. But what there is not much time
does she?
Is the drop. The players are coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, maybe it would be a fair fight then. Arthur just wants to be everybody's friend.
Here we go. All of our players dropping out of the plane, and well, yes, of course, there's early encounters, and there's a lot of team fights, and they're already grabbing one, marking one. Cloud9 in trouble. Everyone falling, and I believe it's Brett
here.
trying to get a dodge. Actually hit a zip
Hold on.
to get out.
I'll link it. I'll link it.
Cloud9 immediately in trouble, and so is Donkey.
Oh, and then where does Breadman decide that he wants to play afterwards? He hits his water tower. Of course he does. He decides to make his way over, play that anchor role, essentially provide all that outlook that we saw him drop yesterday. On board then with the Australians representing Na'Vi. These 3 have been cooked in their first 2 games, and it's again a case of you had those 2 games. This Group C's setups lineups come in. Can you cook them before they warm up?
This might be the only team, by the way, thus far in the competition near the top of the leaderboard. I think they're top 3, and it's because of placement. They were top 5 back-to-back games in the first 2. Let's see if they can repeat that success.
No, Arthur would like be chasing Koa while Koa's just trying to run away. Just like, stop. I just want to be friends. Koa's like, hell no. I don't want nothing to do with you, boy.
They're here to slay. Here we go. Omit looking for some early encounters, finding Destroy, another team near the top of the leaderboard, but being punished for it. That's what happens. It's Rebirth, it's Resurgence, and it's the very beginning of this map.
Team Destroy, the second top team currently in Group A, but finding trouble with another new squads coming in. Oh, mate, that's the Puerto Rican side. Tommy picking up Intex. That's better news for Alula. The Des touched on that quite a bit. They've got a lot to do here. This is their last 2 chances through this afternoon. Destroy's back in, however, does have himself a kill, considering the whole prison side safety play here as he starts to try and assess where the rest of the players are around him. Matt is going to find up Stukex, and all the noise here early on. You can see a lot of players concerned, but we haven't lost any teams yet. Teams adjusting and figuring out things on the fly.
It's all about that anchor. And speaking of anchor, falling in the kill feed, Nate Dogg out of here. Team Destroy a little bit in trouble without their anchor. Got to slow their roll. They rely on their kills early, and right now, not able to get a ton as we swap back to AB Wiz. Now, this team, you might see Prodigy's 0 kills, 500 damage, and be like,
dang, Believe in them are cooking right now. Limax and them are cooking as well.
Like the equivalent of a full team, and you're hyping up Na'Vi.
You definitely overthrew that thermite.
High ground continues to prove successful. Zeppa goes out, and 2 down potentially for this Na'Vi squad if they're not careful. Can't quite clean him up though. Should he self-revive? Maybe? No. See you later. Limax all by himself on low ground.
Eddie's team right now is in first, but just a reminder, they will be kicked out of first probably relatively soon because other teams are playing their maps and they're not playing right now, so they're going to be down 2 maps on certain teams.
Bullets using the smoke to try and provide some coverage, and honestly, I like this play. Check away, slip underneath. Not a lot of players like to play around here. And Cloud9 looking to reset from earlier errors by the team that are applying the pressure.
Yeah, Cloud9 has been in a blender this whole map. Welcome to Resurgence, my friends. You've been waiting in the wings for a while, and first map not going your way.
Oh,
looking to try to
oh my God,
Red open high. No, they're in trouble. They could get a full.
They got wiped.
Cloud9 is your first team eliminated. There was a chance at stabilization, but Ultimate High continues to prove the win condition. See you later, Cloud9. You better have a better map too. You are just getting started. You are at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Oh no.
That was really performing in the opening games. It was going to be the Syndicate and Intex here trying to provide
Intex
cover.
and them are cooking.
Down, trying to push on
Dongy and Believe are dead.
Support, and that's 2 players completely obliterated from Al-Ula. we just seeing the kind of work that's coming out there from the SGP Syndicate, setting up those crossfires.
Yeah, do you see what they're doing? Tommy's by himself while Lennon and Juki's are going crazy. And Texas by himself while Doggy and Believe are going crazy.
I don't know if that was maybe the call or maybe they just wanted that position. You can see Tom's playing anchor way off on that far right-hand side. This is where they drop Bio, right?
Yes.
All the way to the top of the map. This is where he's going to be hanging out the entire time. And it works to get his teammates back. And maybe he told them to run in and go get her. Maybe Juki's was let off the leash. I don't know. But it did not work for him. Alula's got to change their strategy. Reminder, folks, Group A still playing. They only have 2 more maps today in our group stages. You've got to get some points on the board if you're near the bottom. Speaking of points, Methods on 5.
Methods is on 5? Wow.
Who used to compete in Warzone, was always a part of Spain's top trio. Whoever decided to retire, take up an opportunity.
Yeah, they've really been going through it, Malevi.
But is now bounced back this competition. Teams back up with Cams and Dogger, and will
Nate
be
Dogg.
nice and early. Back in with Team Destroy there. Nate Dogg will find one. The trio here just looking to push on through Factory, but
It sucks because, like, I want to see a lot of people do well. Like, I would love to see Aiden and Smith do well, but at the same time, it's like I want to see Eddie and them do well more. So it's like you almost have to pray on their downfall, but like not too hard because I still want them to do well. I don't want them to do too good either.
But it's all about the high percentage gunfights, and frankly, Shifty and Biffle love the 2v3s. This team gonna slow their roll. They've got their anchor. Let's get our teammate back, and then we make our push. That's the name of the game. As we switch to our Puerto Rican squad, Team Omit, an NA-based org, picked up this Puerto Rican trio. And frankly, these are the underdogs we're looking for. These were the bubbles Shift was talking about. They're right on that middle average during solos. Let's see what they can do here.
No, you're completely right. But again, surprise is the story of the day. New Icon said Group B is the group of death for who? Certainly not us, and certainly not what we expected. Omit trying to repeat that as we see Tenix here take ultimate high ground. He's going to be able to give out a lot of information. You got to assume that he will try and play anchor from here. And
he has horrible guns though, so he really can't do all that much. If he gets landed on, he's dead.
Here on 2, a lot of squads are going to be pushed in up from various areas such as living quarters, from the bottom side of factory, and even
Juki's and Lennon are killing.
Weapons as these boys start to get squeezed that little bit tighter.
This is not the same Twisted Mind squad that we saw in the last couple maps. This is not the squad flying at every opponent they can get their hands on. There's still plenty of time on this Resurgence timer, but they do not want to give up this position. They don't feel like they're in an advantageous spot to push a fight.
OD.
But they hear footsteps. They hear somebody down below. It's Destroy trying to make a play by himself. Here comes backup. Destroy tries to play his life, plays it fairly well. Aiden able to grab the knock. Somehow doesn't get shot as he gets stuck coming back through the window. I thought for sure.
Yeah, me too. I thought he was going to get traded out.
Just didn't have an angle way off onto this other side.
They might get wiped here.
Frankly, I feel
Nate Dogg and them might get wiped.
Does get cut down there.
This whole factory region starting to build up, by the way. We have Team Zixt in the region, as well as Team Destroy.
Destroy's back.
We've also got arriving players from BSL who like to play around the region. We've seen what they can do throughout this tournament. Doggy going to use the Interrogate here on StuKex, try and find his 2 teammates. Don't have the information he requires potentially because the player's just landed above and will actually back on off. And I think that's the right play. Your teammate's just been interrogated, you get the hell out of dodge.
And unfortunately,
yeah, you're not in the zone here, buddy.
Hamoud was just fully eliminated. Their entire team, I think, out of here as well. So we were hyping them up. We were excited for them. But frustratingly, one of our
all of prison is free?
See you later. We'll see you in the next map. Maybe you can turn the luck the other way. Who knows? But Bagel, a team that's won on 0.
Hello?
Absolutely. Won't like to watch that one, but you can see the question from Pocket earlier on. But one of the things I will say, the 2 teams out at this point, Cloud9 and Zix, they're both squads coming in.
Whoever's factory right now has literally a hell row. I'm pretty sure that's smitten them.
To expect, and it is going to be Methodsick who picks up his 7th, absolutely cooking early on.
Yeah, these guys are frying.
What kills can do for a team, they just can let you play positions late on and put you in the ultimate position to take out a map.
Yeah, the Heretics org here, this Spanish team, one to watch out for. Dream was talking about them early. Here's
Lennon and them are doing significantly better.
Back for, what is this, a 2-piece? Come on, this is a replay, by the way. Looking back over and over again, racking up kill after kill after kill. Make it 5, make it 6. He's on 7 now, by the way. Methodsick, a terror on the map here this time around for map number 3.
Absolutely loved.
I don't think Destroy Them are having that great of a map.
Someone who will be in a very difficult spot right now is going to be BSL, because although they are off towards the factory here, a position that they like, they're going to be pushed
Knight
in by
is
this
teaming
next
with
zone. They've got a
Aiden
lot
and
of players
Smith.
sat up around headquarters that could look out over them, and Team Destroyer not far away.
I think they're out.
Not as much of a kill lead as before.
I
but
don't see
reminder,
them.
Nate Dogg is their anchor.
They were like a
Okay,
light
so seeing him on
orange.
2, sometimes those anchors are able to pick up several
I'm pretty
kills,
sure they got
especially from
wiped.
distance. It's kind of the name of the game in Resurgence. But watch out for that
Yeah,
timer.
yeah.
Begins to move.
They're
The
wiped.
circle, 33 seconds.
Oh,
We'll
man.
See the new timer pop, and that's the timer for Resurgence to end, all right? That timer closing the circle will be 60 seconds on the clock when this circle begins to move. Watch out. 'Cause
They
you
were
die
on a heater
right
of
at
a game
61
though, so
seconds.
they still
See,
got really
and
good
that's
kills, I think. Doggy and them are on a phenomenal game.
Taking control of mid-prison, maybe letting all the rotations happen. Let the dust settle, check out the lay of the land. Honestly, if
They're
Rodrigo
both
doesn't
stair
hit that
glitching each
window,
other.
then
I'm
BSL
dead.
directly underneath. And
I'm
actually BSL is gonna push
dead.
out on one of the only remaining players of Team Al-Ula who continue to be in trouble. One of the players actually hits the water tower, but it feels like desperation. They are in a blender, continuing to struggle in this.
Yeah, take a look at that mini map, the top left-hand corner of your screen. 14, that's PSL. They're
Oh,
trying to
Lennon
find out- and
wiped.
they find
Oh, no.
Lennon
No, no, no.
dropped. I don't think it's a full team wipe, not yet.
No,
Somebody
it's
just
not.
barely flies in the nick of time. So incredibly close. Everyone hunting for full team wipes. We
Lennon
are down to
probably won't be
9
getting
teams,
a
by the
top
way.
5 placement
Vision
here.
Out of here. Crimson Squad out of here. C9 out of here. Twisted Minds out of here, by the way. Fully eliminated on this map. This is getting dicey.
Take a quick look,
They need
by
to
the
show
way, at the
Doggy.
next zone. Lots
Doggy
of
and them are
rotation
cooking.
towards it, but it is a lot of open ground, Goj. And if you've got yourself control center control like Heretics do, or you've got yourself rooftop prison, you have a lookout over so many teams they're going to be trying to play on through. And Neil Alam is one of the players up here at the top, but as this Puerto Rican side begins to assess where everyone might be coming from, you've got to be wary of Team Eisen below. Will they make a play for the roof? Elo, by the way, was on 9 kills. That is a terrific performance thus far, and we are starting to tick towards the end of our 4th circle.
Resurgence closed.
Juki's
You lose
is
your life,
dead.
You gotta get bought back. No more coming
Tommy's
back
last up
free,
for the
my
squad.
friend. Juki's falling in the kill feed from who is it? Elo. Team Omit on top on high ground. Team Omit on top on kills currently. We're into the final 9 teams. Our multiplier starts, by the way, at 8. This next one, incredibly crucial for that 1.2x and counting multiplier, depending on how far you can make it. But the zone continuing to shrink. It's about to get real mixy real quick on this next rotation.
It's even more mixy when Liam gets knocked by a mortar, I believe, and then the rest of the team take a whole lot of damage as well. And what's that's going to tell to Prodigy, Wiz and Oki, come back for this, because there are players where you drop that mortar, they absolutely fly at it. Prodigy sends a C4 in, does get damage, rings out bullets, hit fire, and will tie that up. And Bagel and Co.'s late rotation will be their undoing for Team Abwiz, who continue to look good here. Had a great day in the solos, and even better here in map 3.
Yeah, welcome to group stages, Oki. I like it. This team looking very strong right now, but they got to take down Ultimate High. Destroy's team fully eliminated.
Zungod is on 8.
Ground by Rodrigo, Maddie, Zun. Rodrigo, Maddie, and Zun were talking some trash. They were excited to play. They were excited to prove that they
You need to wipe Intex and them over here.
That's the case, especially in map number 3. They make a play underground in zone, and they bide their time. They're looking for the multipliers. Top 5 now.
Oh my God, they're
playing for.
right around the wall.
Didn't hear the footsteps. It takes trouble. Uh-oh. It's about to be.
I mean, why is Marty and them not pushing
well
this?
thus far, but this will be their undoing. Zund here with 9, a ridiculous performance.
Wow.
Gonna back on off as the
These guys were one of the least betted on teams or whatever.
Intex just trying to hold this door over. He is relatively by himself, but look at that zone pull. I was about to talk about how Na'Vi had a wonderful position in next zone, but as it pulls the entire opposite direction, it's going to send so many teams on the rotation.
They pull back to prison? Yeah, it always pulls to prison and never pulls down low.
Team 8, you see it. Limax getting fully eliminated. Oki's on 10, by the way. Our top teams going into the final 5 have a crazy amount of eliminations. This will certainly mix up our leaderboard. This is a wild performance from a ton of our squads. 18, 17, 13 kills from these teams. An unreasonable amount of eliminations, and they're being paid for it in kind with the multiplier. Into the final 4, we've got a 1.4x, currently 1.7 in
Zun is frying.
You gotta cut down some teams in the process. Intex all alone likely will fall here. Who gets the kill? It is the Abwiz team. This is Prodigy. Who's there to hold him on the rotation, though? It's
Oh my God! He almost did it!
Top 3 still alive. An opportunity to make history. victory for the Spanish squad.
And Marty
Oh my gosh, he almost did it.
Marty actually finds Cams, and Marty has the overlook onto Method Stick as well. Gets the damage in, only has the pistol to play with. Methods has to push this. Methods is out of here. What a performance there to see things out in a squad. Yet again, Goats. We talk about a team that we never saw this coming from. Absolutely massive.
They had like
And the
19
massive
kills, I
kills they were rocking
think.
off throughout, that is huge. Must have been pushing up towards 28 by the end.
Good for them.
Welcome to the
Good for
global
them.
stage. Welcome to the Esports World Cup, Team Eisen. Latin America is showing out today. I believe they ended that game with 19 eliminations, and holding Ultimate High is the only reason our Spanish squad was cut down in the process. It was a 2v1, and they cut them down because we had high ground. Latin America showing out. We have our new icons in the first 2 games. Now we've got Team Eisen.
That's crazy. I love that the people that everybody like
The underdog story
is showing out.
I mean,
Good for
we spoke about this
them.
Group C, right? They
We
looked
love
a
that.
little bit softer groups, should we say, but I don't think we expected Team Eisen to find themselves so handedly here in this matchup. You speak about, you know, how LATAM
Eisen
putting on a
won
show.
the
I think we
game.
expected a lot of that LATAM conversation to come
They had
from
like
BG
19 or
Global.
20
They
kills or
haven't performed,
something.
but new stars rise to the fore in this one. Team Eisen with 19 kills and top spot here in map 3. In case you're not that great at map, that is 38 points, which will put you right into the conversation for top spot.
Yeah, let's be very clear, by the way. New icons near the top of the leaderboard. They were bottom of their pool, right? Group B. In Group A, guess who's bottom of Group A?
No way.
Team Eisen.
No way.
All the way down to the bottom of their Group A from solos. They came to play. They were 9th going into this game after their first 2 maps. A reasonably average performance. And finally, it all clicked and it all paid off with a 2x multiplier. A massive.
Okay, so this is gonna be like
8 points in Rebirth Island is
so
ridiculous.
they're gonna take first now.
Very, very well done.
Ow.
I
Ow,
still
ow, ow,
have my
ow,
sights
ow,
on
ow.
that Heretic squad, though. Second place is a 1.7.
God, my nose piercing really
and I
bad.
think They had upwards of like 20 kills. It was ridiculous slay out from some of our top teams, apparently in game number